The atmosphere inside the luxury studio tower reportedly became so emotionally heavy that even staff members quietly stopped talking the moment Dylan Wang finally realized Bai Lu was about to make a decision capable of changing everything between them forever. And if you stay until the very end, you're going to witness how one emotional rejection, one private rooftop conversation, and one heartbreaking goodbye reportedly left Dylan Wang completely shattered emotionally in ways fans never imagined possible publicly. So subscribe right now and stay with every second, because this story unfolds with emotional confessions, painful silence, jealousy, regret, hidden feelings, and scenes so mind-blowing that fans are already calling this one of the most devastating celebrity emotional collapses of the year. 4 days rumors had already spread online surrounding Dylan Wang's emotional request asking Bai Lu to officially join his newly expanding entertainment studio privately. At first, fans celebrated emotionally. Many believed this represented the long-awaited professional reunion everyone desperately hoped would finally bring them emotionally closer publicly again. Because according to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly spent months quietly preparing the studio proposal specifically with Bai Lu emotionally in mind from the very beginning. Witnesses later claimed he personally reviewed creative projects, potential scripts, and future collaborations, hoping Bai Lu would become one of the central figures helping shape the future direction of his company privately. And according to insiders, that dream reportedly meant far more emotionally to Dylan Wang than anyone realized publicly. Because beneath the business opportunity existed something much deeper emotionally: hope, trust, and perhaps even one final chance to rebuild the emotional closeness that distance and misunderstandings slowly damaged between them privately over recent months. Meanwhile, Bai Lu reportedly remained unusually quiet publicly regarding the proposal itself, despite fans endlessly speculating online afterward. No confirmation, no rejection, just silence. And according to insiders, that silence reportedly began emotionally destroying Dylan Wang privately long before Bai Lu finally gave her answer publicly afterward. One source later admitted Dylan Wang reportedly checked repeatedly for updates regarding Bai Lu's decision emotionally every single day, while pretending publicly everything remained calm and professional internally. But according to people close to him privately, the emotional pressure surrounding her answer slowly became impossible for him to hide anymore. Witnesses later described Dylan Wang appearing emotionally distracted during filming schedules recently, quieter than usual, often staring silently at his phone during breaks, as though waiting desperately for one message capable of changing everything emotionally forever. Then finally the day arrived. According to insiders, Bai Lu reportedly agreed to meet Dylan Wang privately inside the luxury upper-floor conference space located within his studio tower late one rainy evening after filming schedules ended publicly. The atmosphere reportedly already felt emotionally tense before either even spoke privately. Witnesses later described soft rain falling heavily against massive glass windows overlooking the glowing city skyline outside, while dim gold lighting reflected quietly throughout the nearly empty conference room itself. And according to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly arrived nearly 40 minutes early, emotionally unable to remain calm while waiting for Bai Lu's answer privately. One assistant later admitted he reportedly rearranged the proposal folders repeatedly despite everything already being perfectly organized emotionally beforehand. Because according to insiders, Dylan Wang truly believed this meeting might finally repair everything emotionally between them publicly again. Then Bai Lu arrived. Witnesses later described the atmosphere changing instantly the moment she quietly entered the room wearing a long dark coat still slightly wet from rain outside. At first, neither spoke immediately. The silence reportedly felt emotionally unbearable already before the conversation even truly began privately. According to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly tried smiling softly while asking whether she had enough time to carefully review the studio proposal emotionally beforehand. Bai Lu reportedly nodded quietly before sitting across from him beneath the soft golden conference lighting surrounding them privately. Then came the moment everything reportedly began emotionally collapsing. According to witnesses, Bai Lu reportedly thanked Dylan Wang sincerely for trusting her enough emotionally to offer her such an important role inside his future studio plans publicly. At first, Dylan Wang reportedly looked relieved emotionally, hearing her words privately. until she quietly continued speaking afterward. Because according to insiders, Bai Lu reportedly admitted she could not accept the offer emotionally despite everything between them privately. That sentence reportedly froze Dylan Wang completely. Witnesses later described the silence afterward as emotionally devastating to witness firsthand publicly. Because according to sources, Dylan Wang reportedly genuinely never imagined Bai Lu would reject him completely after everything emotionally they shared privately before. At one point, insiders claimed he quietly asked whether the decision happened because she no longer trusted him emotionally anymore. That question reportedly visibly shook Bai Lu immediately. Because according to witnesses, the answer clearly carried emotional weight far deeper than ordinary business decisions publicly. Then came the heartbreaking confession that reportedly shattered Dylan Wang emotionally beyond words afterward. According to insiders, Bai Lu reportedly admitted accepting the studio request would emotionally pull her back into feelings she spent months trying desperately to control privately already. That sentence reportedly left Dylan Wang completely speechless emotionally. Because suddenly he realized the rejection had nothing to do with business publicly at all. It had everything to do with emotions neither of them fully escaped privately despite all the distance growing between them publicly recently. Meanwhile, according to witnesses, Bai Lu reportedly struggled emotionally to maintain composure throughout the conversation afterward. At one point, insiders claimed her voice reportedly trembled slightly while explaining she no longer trusted herself emotionally around situations capable of reopening feelings she fought hard to bury privately already. That confession reportedly emotionally devastated Dylan Wang instantly. Because according to sources, he reportedly spent recent months believing emotional distance between them existed only temporarily publicly, not permanently. Then came another shocking revelation nobody expected. According to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly admitted quietly that creating the studio opportunity for Bai Lu emotionally was never only about work privately. Witnesses later described his expression becoming heartbreakingly vulnerable while finally confessing he wanted her near him again emotionally, even if work became the only safe excuse publicly left between them anymore. That confession reportedly left Bai Lu visibly emotional immediately afterward. Because according to sources, it represented the first time Dylan Wang openly admitted how deeply losing emotional closeness with her privately affected him publicly over recent months already. Meanwhile, rain reportedly continued falling heavily outside the towering glass windows surrounding them privately as the emotional atmosphere inside the room became almost unbearably intense afterward. One source later admitted several nearby staff members quietly left the floor entirely once they sensed the emotional weight of the conversation unfolding behind closed doors privately. Then came perhaps the most heartbreaking moment of all. According to insiders, Bai Lu reportedly softly admitted she still cared about Dylan Wang emotionally far more than she wanted publicly to admit even now. But according to witnesses, she also confessed remaining emotionally close to him continuously reopened confusion, rumors, emotional pressure, and feelings she no longer knew how to survive privately anymore. That sentence reportedly shattered Dylan Wang completely emotionally. Because suddenly he realized Bai Lu rejecting the studio proposal did not mean she stopped caring publicly at all. It meant she cared too deeply emotionally to risk destroying herself privately anymore. At one point, witnesses claimed Dylan Wang reportedly stood silently near the massive rain-covered windows overlooking the glowing city outside afterward, while trying emotionally to process everything Bai Lu confessed privately. Then, according to insiders, he quietly asked whether this truly meant the future he imagined together professionally and emotionally no longer existed publicly anymore. Bai Lu reportedly looked down silently for several seconds before answering with heartbreaking honesty. Sometimes, loving someone emotionally also means walking away from the version of life your heart wanted most privately. That sentence reportedly emotionally destroyed Dylan Wang instantly, according to witnesses nearby. Because for the first time publicly, he finally understood Bai Lu's decision was not cruel emotionally. It was self-protection privately. Meanwhile, according to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly became visibly emotional afterward while admitting he regretted waiting so long to speak honestly about what Bai Lu truly meant emotionally to him privately before everything between them became so painfully complicated publicly. Witnesses later described Bai Lu appearing equally devastated emotionally, hearing his confession afterward. Because according to sources, part of her reportedly still hoped things between them somehow might have unfolded differently privately if honesty arrived sooner emotionally. Then came another shocking emotional moment nobody expected publicly. According to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly reached into one proposal folder before quietly removing a smaller handwritten note hidden privately inside the documents all along. Witnesses later claimed the note reportedly contained a personal message never intended originally for public eyes emotionally at all. According to sources, Dylan Wang quietly admitted he planned giving the note to Bai Lu only if she accepted the studio offer privately. Bai Lu reportedly hesitated emotionally before finally taking the folded paper carefully into her hands afterward. Then, according to insiders, her expression reportedly changed immediately after reading the message privately. Witnesses later claimed tears reportedly formed instantly in her eyes emotionally afterward. Because according to sources, the note allegedly read, "No matter where life pulls us publicly, I just wanted one place where losing you emotionally never happens again privately." That confession reportedly emotionally shattered Bai Lu completely. At one point, insiders claimed she reportedly struggled emotionally to continue speaking afterward while carefully folding the handwritten message back into her hands privately. Meanwhile, Dylan Wang reportedly looked completely heartbroken emotionally watching her reaction while already realizing her decision would not change publicly anymore. Then came the goodbye that reportedly devastated fans everywhere afterward once insiders leaked details online later. According to witnesses, Bai Lu reportedly stood slowly before quietly thanking Dylan Wang emotionally for believing in her privately more than most people ever had publicly. Then, according to insiders, she softly admitted she hoped one day he would create a future filled with peace emotionally, even if she no longer stood beside him publicly anymore. That sentence reportedly completely broke Dylan Wang emotionally, according to people nearby afterward. Because for the first time, the emotional distance between them reportedly felt painfully permanent publicly rather than temporary privately anymore. Meanwhile, according to insiders, Dylan Wang reportedly remained standing silently inside the empty conference room long after Bai Lu finally left the building beneath heavy rain outside afterward. Witnesses later described him staring quietly toward the unopened proposal documents scattered across the conference table, while city lights reflected endlessly against the rain-soaked glass windows surrounding him privately. At one point, sources claimed he reportedly whispered softly to himself that losing someone emotionally while they still care about you might actually hurt more than hatred publicly ever could. That confession reportedly emotionally destroyed fans once leaked online afterward. Because suddenly the story no longer looked like celebrity business drama publicly anymore. It looked heartbreakingly human emotionally. Two people still deeply connected privately, somehow realizing love alone sometimes cannot survive timing, pressure, fear, and emotional exhaustion publicly forever. Then blurry photographs surfaced online later that night, reportedly showing Dylan Wang standing alone on the rooftop balcony outside the studio tower beneath pouring rain long after everyone else already left publicly. Fans everywhere completely lost control emotionally afterward. Some cried openly online. Others desperately hoped Bai Lu might eventually change her decision privately later. Many simply stared heartbreakingly at the rain-soaked images because suddenly Dylan Wang no longer looked like a confident celebrity publicly anymore. He looked like someone emotionally grieving a future that almost existed privately before slipping away forever. And perhaps that became the most unforgettable part of this entire emotional collapse. Not the rejected studio proposal. Not the endless rumors publicly afterward. Not even the heartbreaking handwritten confession hidden secretly inside the documents privately all along. But the painful realization that sometimes people can still love each other deeply emotionally, while simultaneously understanding staying close might destroy both hearts slowly forever. And now the only question that remains is this. When someone you still emotionally care about walks away, not because love disappeared, but because the emotional weight surrounding both your lives became too painful privately to survive anymore, do you continue fighting desperately for another chance publicly, or finally let them go even while your heart still refuses emotionally to say goodbye forever? If this story touched your heart and you want more emotional drama stories like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who understands that sometimes the most heartbreaking endings are not created by betrayal or hatred publicly at all. They are created by two people loving each other deeply, while life slowly convinces both hearts they can no longer survive together emotionally forever.